Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at the G.I. Joe, a real American hero, in this classic review of the Dreadnought Ripper. As I mentioned in the buzzer, this is my original Dreadnought, and so is Torch, and so is Buzzer, and so is Zartan, and so is ARAH, and so is Xandar, and so is Thrasher, along with the Thunder Machine. I don't know why they all survived in pretty good condition, but these three Dreadnoughts, oh, including Monkey Wrench, I forgot Monkey Wrench, they're all my original, along with the original weapons. I've never had to replace them. How I didn't lose anything, I have no idea. But anyway, we're gonna take a look at this guy. I will have the hose by the time I actually, am reviewing the figure. I'll pop them off another figure, probably that airtight, but I'll throw the hose on here. And we're going to take a look at it and look at all the detail and the design that's put into this, because there's a lot of design that's put into these figures that we completely miss. Like, this is a Jaws of Life, not a jackhammer. And to all the people that say, hey, I always knew it was a Jaws of Life, I don't believe you, unless you're Matthew Matson, because he knows everything. We all thought this was a jackhammer because it looked like he was jackhammering it. But it's actually the Jaws of Life, and they made that perfectly clear when it comes to the classified. But anyway, we're going to take a look at this. Tell me a little story about it. Did you have this one? Was he your favorite? Did you ever understand how he was just driving down the road and on his motorcycle, and he could just cut through chain link fences with this big knife, which is, if you didn't know this is just Snow Job's gun with the little magazine and the big knife on it. Anyway, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But before we do, if you like this type of content, you're like, wow, you ramble on, but this is interesting, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a classic review. All right, so let's look at the Dreadnought Ripper, probably my least favorite of the original Dreadnoughts. And when I say the original, I mean Buzzer, Torch, Monkey Wrench, Zartan, Zorana, Xandar, and Thrasher. He was probably my least favorite, or maybe Buzzer. But again, this is my original. But we're going to take a look at the accessories, which I always like to do first. All right, so we're going to take a look at his weapon. And this is something that a lot of people don't realize, is that his weapon is just a modified version of Snow Job's XMLR rifle. All right, so what they did do here was they put this big blade on the front, which, let's be honest, he's a Dreadnought, so he's doing some sort of damage. They put a scope on it. They did give him a magazine, but other than that, it is the exact same rifle. So you have the grip right here. Here's the body of the gun. It is a laser rifle, but again, with a magazine, it makes it seem like it's an actual working submachine gun or rifle. It's got the barrel, your grip, no trigger guard, and then your stock right there. I always really liked the way this looked. I also, when I got extra ones, I like to cut it and try and make the G.I. Joe, more G.I. Joe weapons. All right. As for his Jaws of Life, yes, these were the Jaws of Life. We all thought that these were a jackhammer. Other than Matthew Matson, who was the only kid in the world, in the United States of America, that knew that this was the Jaws of Life, everyone else thought it was a jackhammer because that's what it looked like he was doing. All right, so you do have the tubing, which I'm going to remove right now, only because it gets in the way. All right, so looking at the backpack here, I don't think many of us, we knew that it was the hydraulic system to actually run this, but again, it makes more sense when you think about it actually being the Jaws of Life. All right, so looking at it here, you can see all the hydraulics that are going to move this through this tube, through the cable, whatever it is, just to get it into here to make these things open. All right, so looking at it here, you got two handles. No way in hell you're getting your hands on there, especially in these days. You're not getting both hands on there. Again, this is what makes the new figures that have swivel wrist so much better. So imagine if they redid this figure. If Hasbro said, hey, we're redoing this figure, softer PVC plastic, and he's going to have swivel wrists, and now he's going to have a Jaws of Life, and they're actually going to open up a little bit, just like the classified, that would be awesome. But looking at this here, Jaws of Life, if you don't know, this is how they kind of open up cars, different things like that when there's a horrible wreck. They go in. This is going to open up. But the detail on it does look really nice here. Again, when you look at it, you can see why a kid would think this is a jackhammer. All right. As for Ripper himself, he's got the nice mohawk, but he's only buzzed on the side. You can see his ears right there. He's got the red aviators. I believe these are supposed to be aviators. And then he's got the pretty big beard. And I'd say it's manicured pretty nicely. He has a bunch of, actually, they make these, am I correct? I think they make these razor blades. But it looks like he has teeth, maybe dog tags, maybe they're razor blades, and all stuff that they've used maybe to take care of some Joes, some military, or just, you know, common folk. But a nice necklace that goes across there. Then he just has like this half shirt. I'm glad they got rid of the half shirt, which has, for some odd reason, a sheathed knife into it. Up here, it looks like he has a couple of small grenades, or maybe just one small grenade. Nope, there's two. Again, very small. Here he has one bracelet, or one arm cuff, I guess you could say, around his bicep. And as you go down, you look here, he's wearing, I think, 3 different rings right there. And then he has 3 different rings right there, which makes me think these are supposed to be brass knuckles. But I don't know why they wouldn't do it all the way across all 4. There's nothing on the inside that I can see, but it is on the outside. And that's something, in all honesty, I don't remember ever realizing. He does have some awesome abs, so he does not miss ab day. There's his belt, so you can see the belt buckle there. There's his loops, all right, which I absolutely love. It actually shows that they're actually holding up the pants. It looks like he's carrying a wallet of some sort. I would assume that it's not his, probably of someone that he robbed or eliminated. He has his holster right here. You can see the strap that goes all the way around, and then you have a different color weapon. So the pistol is actually the same color as his pants, just to break it up. And I actually like the fact that they would do something like this. Then you can see that he's got these ripped pants that are over the boot. All right, and it looks like he's wearing some sort of cowboy boot. All right, as right down here is where you should have a spur, but they didn't put any spurs on it, as they're just kind of wrapped around. So, as for arming this figure up, with those backpack on it, it does go in one direction. Right here, this is where you plug that side of the hose in. Oops, I got an itch. And then right here, we're going to plug the actual Jaws of Life into. Now, I always would hook this on here, although it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. I never really understood what this is for. But you're not able to really house this thing anywhere else. You can kind of wrap it around like this if you want, and then just kind of wrap it in there. All right, as you can see, it's going to come off. I need to get some new hoses just to kind of connect and stay in there. And then as for his gun, well, as I mentioned before, I always really liked the gun. And there he is, standing up. As for his articulation, he only turns side to side. The Dreadnoks did not have the posable neck yet. They were not able to look down. He has the T-pose, swivel at the arms. He's got 90 degree, just over 90 degree elbow articulation, swivel arm battle grip, turns and swivel at the O-ring. He can kind of move his legs about that far, but you're more worried about can he fit into the Thunder Machine, and he can. And then you have knees with 90 degree bend. So all in all, I figured that's still in pretty good condition for one that is my original one. A lot of mine. I took care of my stuff, and yes, I know people have asked, did you even play with your stuff? Yes, I always play with my toys, but there were some that were more important than others, and even so, I took care of my stuff. So there you go. That is your Ripper. All right, so there you go. a review of my original Ripper. I think I called him Buzzer maybe in the beginning. I don't know. If I did, someone's going to yell at me because people love yelling at me. It's fun. It's like a game to you guys. Anyway, tell me a story about this guy. Did you have him? Was this the one Dreadnought that you were missing? Maybe you had all the Dreadnoughts. Maybe you're like, they were awesome. Maybe you only had the 3 Dreadnoughts because you said those were the original, even though Monkey Wrench was total Dreadnought. Anyway, there you go. that is your Ripper. I really do like this figure. Not my favorite Dreadnought. He's coming up next. But anyway, if you really like this stuff and you stayed this long, you must. Please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a classic review of the Dreadnoughts. But I'm going to get out of here. What I am going to do is I'm going to leave you a link to the Buzzer review, and down here is going to be the playlist of all the classic reviews that I've done. Take care.